Good morning, everybody. It's your boy D Mac. So let's talk about it. The fear of rejection and the spirit of fear. I wanted to talk about this because, we're living in a time where there's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot of fear, and this fear causes people to say and do things outside of their character, just out of the instinct of survival. And so I just wanted to discuss this in a little depth this morning because this is a topic that seems to be coming up a lot. And people's fear of rejection is causing them to want to cancel people out and tell people that they can't say this or they can't do that because it triggers their fear of rejection. And so I wanted to discuss this topic this morning so that I could gain some more clarity on why people operate in this manner. Now, in the religious community or the Christian community, more specifically, there's a term that people like to say, and they'll say that God did not give us the spirit of fear. Now, that may be true. God did not give you the spirit of fear, but you picked that spirit up from somewhere because this fear of rejection resides in pretty much all of us. Every single one of us has experienced some type of rejection. We did not like it, and we did not want to encounter that type of rejection in our lives again. And so we've made certain adjustments in our behavior and in our actions so that we will not experience that type of rejection again in our lives. So it goes to say that we are motivated by our fear of rejection. And with that being said, that also leads into, the whole spirit of fear thing. So, no, God did not give me a spirit of fear, but fear is healthy. Fear will keep you alive. Fear keeps you from going out doing things that will injure or even take your life or somebody else's life. So to say that God did not give us the spirit of fear, that's not exactly true. That's not, well, I'll say it like this. He gave us fear in order to protect us, but he did not give us a spirit of a coward. So when we say the spirit of fear, we're talking about the spirit of a coward, someone who would run away, someone who would act like those cops did in Uvalde the other day. So that is what we're talking about when we say the spirit of fear. We're talking about a coward. But fear of rejection, I've seen many times where people they've deprived themselves of things because of the fear of rejection. They had a talent, and because they were afraid of the opinions of others and how others might not like their talent or think that their talent is inadequate, they're afraid to share that talent with the world. And it could have been something to bless people, but because of their fear of rejection, they were not able to allow the rest of the world to share in that gift that they have. I see it all the time, man, especially in young people who are really trying to find themselves. They're getting out here and they're trying to find their identity and see who they are as an individual. And that's a very scary place to be. You don't know if people are going to like your character. You don't know if people are going to be accepting of your views and your ideas in life. And that's something that we get a whole lot of support generally from our family in those areas. Our families are usually the ones who will build us up and help build up our confidence. So when we go out into the world, we won't be afraid to fail, and therefore we can go forth and we can do great things because we don't have this self-sabotaging behavior that's tied to us. And if you were not given that type of instruction, or you wasn't raised in that type of environment, then going out into the world and trying to succeed is a very scary thing. And you're second guessing yourself at every turn because there was never anybody there to say, come on, you got this. Excuse me. Don't give up. All of the positive affirmations that'll help you to get through a tough ordeal. A lot of us don't have this because our parents are fighting their fears, and there's some issues in their life that they have yet to deal with, and so they have no authority to help us through that situation. And so a whole nother generation is having to deal with this situation that our parents weren't able to defeat in their lives. And so I know as a parent, I've instilled a certain level of fear in my children, just in caution, in being alert and being aware of your surroundings, because it's necessary today. If you're not paying attention, then you can get caught up in a life or death situation in a matter of seconds. And so I instill a certain level of paranoia in my children. Yes, I do. I would rather have my children out here with a bit of paranoia and awareness of their surroundings than just goofy and oblivious to what's taking place and potentially putting themselves in a situation of danger. Uh, Basically, to break that down in layman's terms, my kids know how to start inching towards the door whenever the aggression level pick up in a party. You know what I'm saying? My kids, whenever they go into a place where there's a lot of people, they know how to keep their head on a swivel and notice somebody who looks out of place, and notice somebody who's wearing a trench coat and it's 103 degrees outside. They notice all of these different things, and they're looking for these different things, which you have to nowadays, because if you don't, then you're subject to find yourself the victim of a mass shooting, because they're very commonplace in our country now. So how far do we read into uh, to the spirit of fear, the whole concept of God not giving us the spirit of fear? Yeah, we're not a coward. I'm no coward, but there's certain things that I know better. Wisdom teaches me to fear certain things. Wisdom teaches me to not walk up to an alligator and try to feed it Ritz crackers. You know, fear teaches me not to jump off of a 12-story building with a rusty, a frayed rope and a rusty hook on it, and it's not secure. You know, it teaches me all of these things, and it keeps me at a certain level of safety. So I can't really bash fear. I really can't uh, say anything about that. But as far as the fear of rejection, you know, we're motivated to do a whole lot of things because of the fear of rejection. We don't want to hear somebody speaking about our biggest insecurities. We don't want someone to basically, how did Lauren Hill say it? He's strumming my pain with his fingers. He's singing my life with his words. We are deathly afraid of somebody doing that. And in anticipation for somebody doing that, we would rather shut them down. We would rather cancel them. We would rather stop them from speaking in order to not face those insecurities that we have and what we consider rejection. And I say that because I've been having a conversation this morning with somebody, and we were talking about uh, Jada Pinkett Smith. And, you know, there's a lot of people out here who are trying to make her out to be a victim because she suffers from alopecia. Now, I'm going to tell you, alopecia is something that a lot of people suffer from. A lot of women deal with alopecia. I've heard this throughout my family for decades and generations, and I've seen them have struggles with losing hair and things of that nature. But that was the only struggle that I saw. I never saw them laying in the bed all day saying, "Oh, my alopecia." Now, I'm not making fun of people who's dealing with this because I do understand that it's a medical condition. But what I'm saying is we're not going to blow it up to where it's like pancreatic cancer and you are in stage 3 of it and you're looking potentially at a death. That's not what we're talking about here. And so people want to sensationalize her issue of alopecia to try to make her out to be a victim, to make Chris Rock be wrong in this scenario. And that is absolutely out of context. It's mischaracterized, and I just wanted to address that. It's all about her fear of rejection. And if that's the case, then why bring yourself out to these events to where you know that you could possibly end up being the butt of somebody's joke? And I feel as though if somebody, this is another point that I made, I said, look, if you don't like a certain food, if you don't like the way it tastes, then don't eat it. You have every right to not eat it. But that don't mean that you go out here and try to demand that the chef stop cooking that meal because you don't like it. Because everybody was fine with laughing at all the other jokes. So my question is this: who was the butt of all of those other jokes that she was laughing at all the way up until it became her? Who else did she laugh at during those Oscars? Who else did Chris Rock crack jokes on in that audience that she found it amusing that he capitalized on something that was going on in their life, whether positive or negative? Why was it okay for her to laugh at someone else's issue and their insecurities, but everybody is trying to champion Will Smith because he felt like he had to protect her from being called out about her insecurities? So let's not play this victim game. We're trying to make her into well, not we, but some people are trying to make her into a victim when it's not even that big a deal. No, she's not a victim. Okay, she's dealing with alopecia. She's an older lady. She's going through some issues. That's life. So, how many other people are going through it and worse? So, that's where I'm at with it, man. We're out here. We'll romanticize one thing, we'll sensationalize another thing, and we're just mischaracterizing everything just so it'll fit our narrative, so that we can feel justified in saying what we say and doing what we do. But I'm the person that'll call that out. I don't care how you feel about it. That's something that you need to take up with your creator, because I'm here to provoke thought. I'm here to be the devil's advocate in everything, whether it's favorable to my opinion or not. Because I know sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes right in the midst of my conversation when I'm talking, I'll say something that'll answer my own question or something that'll correct me in the moment. And I'm willing to take that. I'm willing to take it from anybody, but I'm not going to just allow people to speak on things without logic. When you speak on things out of emotion, I'm going to call it out every time, especially if you call yourself a man, because that's not the way that we as men handle things. So, yeah, man, I feel like we need to, what is the solution? What is the solution to this issue? How do we address the issue of people who are dealing with fear of rejection and will lash out at others who scrapes the surface of their insecurity. Well, this person needs to be built up in those areas where they're insecure first and foremost, and that's a personal thing. So no comedian out here is obligated to go around and check and make sure that everybody in the audience doesn't have an insecurity that one of his jokes could probably trigger. No comedian is obligated to do that. No entertainer is obligated to do that. They're entertainers. They're here to entertain. If you don't want to be entertained, then you don't go to that entertainer. Or if you go to that entertainer and you're not entertained, then go find something that does entertain you. It's as simple as that. But to try to stop someone's livelihood and say that they can't do something, look, we all have a choice and we all have decisions to make in life, and we can do whatever we desire. That's one thing about the Most High. He gave us freedom of choice. He gave us free will to do whatever we want. That's from our creator, not from another person, not from lawmakers, from the creator of all things. And so when someone comes with the idea or the concept that you can't do this or you can't do that, tell me why. Yeah, you're right, brothers. You said shadow work and heart chakra for sure. It absolutely is. But my thing is, who are you to tell somebody that they can't do something other than your children? Who are you to tell somebody that they can't do something? Even when it comes down to laws, and believe me, I'm not saying go out here and break the law, but in all things, we have a choice to make. A murderer has a choice to make, whether to take that life or not. A child molester has a choice to make, whether to take that child's innocence or not. Everybody who has done any type of offense had a choice to make, and they chose to do what they felt was beneficial to them. So we have a choice in every single thing that we do, and don't let anybody make you feel like you don't have a choice in the matter, because there is one. So as far as dealing with fear of rejection, that's a personal and individual thing that people are going to have to deal with on their own. And if they don't feel like they're strong enough to go out into an environment where they would potentially get picked on or called out for some of these things that they're insecure about, then maybe they should stay home until they're strong enough to be able to handle that. Because there are a lot of us who go out into the world and we take ridicule and we go to comedy clubs and we get picked on and we laugh because we understand that it's not personal, it's just comedy. So if you're that thin skinned and you can't take nothing, then I suggest you stay in the house and keep all of your devices turned off so that you can protect your very fragile heart. But otherwise, I mean, I'm not going to say that comedians need to change up their material. I'm not going to say that comedians need to be more cognizant of the feelings of people, because comedians don't know every single person in that audience personally, to where they'll be like, oh, I can't say that because June is dealing with anorexia. Oh, I can't say that because Bob got touched when he was 12. Oh, I can't say that because Dominique is dealing with a drug issue. No comedian is going around doing a play-by-play on their audience. So what they say in the environment that they're in, either it's going to stick or it's not. And you have the right to choose whether it's funny to you or not. But you can't say that that comedian can't say what they said anymore. You don't have that right. And so as long as we understand our boundaries and stay within our boundaries and our lanes, and whenever we come across something that's not pleasant to us, we just go the other way and find something that is pleasant to us instead of trying to destroy that thing that we do not partake in, then we're going to continue to have these conversations. We're going to continue to see all of this discord within the ranks of comedy and within the ranks of entertainment, period. Um, you know, I don't even know what else to say on this, man. I always get to about the 20-minute mark and I start to dwindle down because I don't want to say a whole lot of stuff that is irrelevant to the point. And whenever you get into that area of just trying to find something to fill in the time, that's when you say those stupid things that people will come in and try to pick apart in your comments and stuff like that. So I'm mindful of the things that I say, and anything that I say, I'm not going to backpedal on it. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on what I say. And if I am wrong, then I'll come back and I'll make that correction and I'll be glad to admit to it. But my view is my view. And for somebody to feel that they have to change my view is a narcissistic thing that they're dealing with within themselves, and that's a whole nother episode right there. So all you narcissists out there who feel like you got to change everybody's view to think like you, and the world won't be a better place until everybody see things the way that you see them, I need you to stay away from me, because I'm gonna hurt your feelings every time you come at me with that narcissistic mindset that you carry. You can't dictate everybody's actions, and you can't dictate everybody's emotions. So just try to keep yours in line and keep yours in order and be an example to others in that way. And maybe you can get some results. But otherwise, stay in your own lane. That's all you really need to do. Stay in your lane, influence whoever you influence, leave everybody else alone who do not have the same view as you. That's all you got to do. Live peaceably amongst the people in this world. God never told me that I have to be at peace with everybody. The word says that you try to be at peace with most people, because he understands that there's some people out here who wake up every morning dead set on causing some type of calamity and chaos and misery for somebody, because that's all their life encompasses. And so what's in you is what you're going to put out. So if you're full of hurt and disappointment and anger, that's all you have to give. I understand that these people exist, and I walk and I act accordingly. So just keep these things in mind, and we'll continue to exist peaceably amongst each other, and we'll continue to enjoy what we enjoy while other people enjoy what they enjoy. That's how it works. Quit trying to cancel everything. Quit trying to make everybody a villain or a victim or a hero. Let's strip all of these labels off of everything. Only thing that these labels are doing is dividing us and giving us something to use as a scapegoat for the problems in our life that we need to address. That's just my observation on things. And there's a lot of people out here who are going to have their opinion, and I welcome every opinion. And I just leave it at that, man. This is your boy D Mac. Y'all know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.